All right, being 7:01 on May 5th, 2021, I'd like to open the planning board meeting for tonight. First up, at 7 o'clock, we have a public hearing for Vivica Realty Trust, common driveway special permit, on Masonic Home Road. All right, in accordance with section 200-4.2D8 and 200-7.2G of the Chapter zoning bylaws, the town planning board will hold a remote public hearing on Wednesday, May 5th, 2021 at 7 p.m. by Zoom meeting ID 83457410758 on the request of Vivica Realty Trust, 14 Masonic Home Road, Boston, Mass. 02507 for a special permit for approval of a common driveway so they may use the existing driveway from 14 Masonic Home Road to access the property of 12 Masonic Home Road. The existing driveway from the 14 Masonic Home Road out crosses the property of 12 Masonic Home Road. The Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limit on number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Chapter Planning Board will be conducted via remote participation. Specific information in the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with the right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Charlton website at www.townofcharlton.net. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen and watch the meeting may do so in the following manner. Video participation, https://zoom.us/83457410748. Meeting ID 83457410748. Phone access 1-646-558-8656. Copies of the site plan application are available for inspection at the planning board office and the town clerk's office during regular business hours. The application is also posted on town website and the thing. Any person interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. Right.
Just so you know, Ross, Dawn just joined us, so.
Okay. We'll give a couple minutes to post this map. Would you say?
If it
goes along with this?
1214 Masonic Home Road.
Correct, the common driveway
Yes.
we're looking to do. Just for references, this property is, if you're heading towards the center of town, you go near the intersection of Route 20, it's on the right-hand side of the road after, in the center.
Ross, excuse me, one moment. I had trouble getting into Zoom, and John is also. So.
Oh, really? Okay. All right, we'll give you a couple minutes. Thanks, Don. So that's where the property is located. So it seems pretty straightforward. Looking to do a common driveway for number 14 and number 12, Masonic Home Road, Randy?
Yeah, the issues that in they have the driveway already exists and it goes to a property to the rear of the parcel where they want to build a new house for a family member. But because it would be a common driveway, that turns it into a special permit. The one thing they'll have to do is amend their plan to show that it meets the requirements for a common driveway per section.
Was it the 200-4.2?
Yeah, of the bylaws. So they would have to amend the plan showing that common driveway to be approved by Mike Andrade before it could be, if the planning board chose to approve it tonight, it could be approved with condition that it would have to be approved by Mike Andrade and also the Charlton Fire Department, because that's one of the requirements of a common driveway.
Okay.
And John has been able to join us too.
Hello.
John Smith.
Yeah. So, John, we're on the 7 o'clock public hearing for Vivica Realty Trust with the common driveway.
Yep.
She said number 12 and 14 Masonic Home Road. So, I know Don's still trying to, I know he's having some Zoom issues.
So I'm on now.
You're on now. All right.
although I missed part of that. So there's more information that we need before we can approve this. Is this what I'm hearing?
Well, you have two choices. You request more information, or it has to just, it could be a condition to meet section 200-4.2 of the bylaws, which is directly applies to common driveways. That would have to be approved by Mike Andrade before they could be issued a permit for it. Don, are you able to post that plan or not yet?
The plan for the driveway?
Yeah,
Yes,
1214 Masonic Home Road.
the Vivica Realty Trust.
I don't see a plan.
I didn't see one also.
Yeah, I think just on that, on the SharePoint's just the cover page of the notice of hearing.
The actual plan isn't on there?
No, there's no plan. You've got a, that's not what I will share though. That did not work, did it?
You're sharing your page, John. You
Am I
got the public hearing notice?
Okay, yep.
All right, so there's no plan in that.
1 minute. Let me apologize. Let me go back to that.
All right.
Working? You got that? You got the public hearing notice now?
Yes,
Yeah.
we
That's
do.
the only thing that's in the package.
Okay.
There is a letter to the property owner.
Oh, from the property owner? Yep, okay.
Just explaining what they will have to do in order to receive a permit for the driveway.
All right, so I guess with having no visual, I guess explaining it, I mean, it's, you could approve it with conditions if the board so choose to, which is the general conditions of a common driveway.
Yeah, they will have to meet those conditions.
Conditions and then approval from Graves as well as the fire department to sign off.
Apologize, I don't know why I don't have that on there. The plan.
All right, so I guess, what would the board rather, would they prefer to continue this to the next meeting or just follow the general course of what the board has done in the past as far as having the conditions where the property owner has to meet those before its final approval? Or notice to proceed?
You know, I'm okay with conditioning it. Have we talked to the fire department yet? Has the fire department weighed in on this?
Yeah, the fire department wants to see a more formal plan, but they actually had no issues with the application because it's actually, portion of it's actually a kind of a horseshoe driveway. So they have, the fire department's comfortable with the driveway, the way it's going to be constructed.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's any different than, or any worse than what's in there right now for as far as the long driveway, right? It's kind of a horseshoe, and then this goes off of the horseshoe.
Yeah, well, this is actually going to be towards the front of the property near Masonic Home Road, so. It's
Yeah,
actually
and the other
at front
property's
end
further
of it.
back. Yeah.
Right.
Where exactly is this, Randy?
Just if you go down Masonic Home Road, you pass the whole Masonic Home property and everything.
Yeah,
You get down towards Route 20 before the McDonald's and
Yeah.
Shell Station. There's what looks like vacant land there, and you see a couple of pieces of equipment, construction equipment. I think there's like a loader and a bulldozer or something sitting there. And
Looks
this
like there's
drive-
some lumbering going on there.
Matt Gagner's property up
Yeah.
top there.
Yeah,
That
this
was-
is their property, yes. So they already have the existing driveway going back to their home, and the
Yeah.
driveway will just split off before if you're familiar with it, they have two pillars where it enters to their property. Before that, they're
Yeah.
going to just turn off to a new house that they want to build for a family member.
I'm with you, Don. I'm okay on conditional approval of this as long as the other conditions are met that Randy has in his letter.
Gene, do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, can you hear me? I got myself messed up here. I don't know if I'm on mute. or not.
Yeah,
You're
we're good.
on.
Yes, I'm okay with that as long as before anything happens, it gets approved, that it would be brought up in drawings showing what they were going to do.
All right. All right, I guess, do we have, as a board, you guys want to open up to the public? If they have any questions or anything? Yeah,
Sure.
all right. I'd like to open it up to the public. If anyone has any comments or questions, please state your name and address for the record. All right, hearing none, seeing none. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor, Gene Vincent,
Aye.
John Clyde,
Aye.
John Smith,
Aye,
Bill Fontaine,
Aye.
Ross Nancy, aye. All right, do we have a motion to approve this common driveway? This is a special permit, Randy?
Yes,
All right, to approve this common driveway special permit with orders set forth that it meets the zoning bylaw 200-4.2 V8 and 200-7.2 G, as well as Graves sign off and then the fire department's sign off.
yes. And just also, Ross, Leisha's joined us as well.
Oh, she has. All right. Okay. I didn't realize that she had. Thank you.
Yeah, people are joining in all the time.
All right, yeah.
I'll make a motion to conditionally approve this application for a special permit for joint driveway with the conditions that Randy has in his letter.
I'll second that. Don Clay.
All right, all those in favor, Gene Vincent,
You're on mute now.
Okay, there we go. Aye.
all right, Don Clay,
Aye.
John Smith,
aye,
Bill Fontaine,
Aye.
Alicia Schick,
Am I allowed to vote this one?
Yes,
Special
it's a
permit.
special permit.
Yes.
the aye is unanimous. All right. Thank you, Paul.
Hey, thank you and good night.
All right, thank you.
You.
Good night.
All right, next up at 7:05, we have Childbridge Realty LLC special permit for a site plan annual extension request at 144 Sturbridge Road.
Huh?
Score annual extension to 7/22/22. And I have an email here from Matthew McGeorge. Good afternoon, Randy. Thank you for taking my call this morning. To discuss, I'm ready to confirm the Worcester request an extension for a special permit for Forest Pro Holdings LLC cultivation, processing, and dispensary located 144 Sturbridge Road, Charlton, Mass. For a period of 1 year from the date of the current expiration. As you know, we have our CCC licenses in hand and along with the notice to proceed from Graves Engineering. Furthermore, we have submitted for a building permit and are looking forward to moving forward with the physical construction soon. I'm assuming that this extension is a mere formality. We'll be granting it at the next planning board hearing. Attached for reference and convenience are the recorded approvals. Please confirm you see this email. Let me know if you need anything further. Sincerely, Matthew. All right, do we have a motion to continue this extension to 7/22/2022?
I'll make a motion to continue this to July 22nd, 2022.
I'll second it, but I'd like to discuss it a little bit.
Yeah, with discussion.
All right. No problem. Open for discussion.
So is this still Foursquare, or have they transferred the licensing over to the new company yet? So there's, my understanding is Foursquare, this property was bought by another entity.
I think they have a representative here, but they did go to the Board of Selectmen and request the license be transferred. Maybe they can elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, can Daniel elaborate a little bit more and better understanding?
Yeah, excuse me, absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, hello. It's really nice to see everybody. Thank you guys for having us tonight. So the status of the Foursquare project with respect to the change in ownership is that we are currently in the process of having the ownership transfer approved by both the Board of Selectmen and the Cannabis Control Commission. So there is a new company, Aspen Blue LLC, is coming in and buying 100% of the ownership of Foursquare Holdings. So actually the entity Foursquare Holdings will still be the licensee. There, Foursquare will still exist. It will just have a new group of owners. So that process is, that's currently in process. We anticipate being before the Cannabis Control Commission in June, maybe July, and then we've met with the Board of Selectmen, and I believe we'll be going back before them, hopefully sometime in May, to finalize their approval of the ownership transfer.
Daniel, if I could request that when you get your approval, you just forward a copy of it to the Charlton Planning Board so that we can have it in the file that it is under new ownership.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And I just want to be clear on this request. As the board may recall, we actually have two special permits. There was a special permit first granted on May 8th, 2019 for the cultivation and production use. And there was a subsequent special permit, site plan approval and special permit for the retail use. And we are respectfully requesting that both special permits be extended.
Through the chair, Daniel, do you already have your licenses?
We do, yes. We have provisional licenses from the Cannabis Control Commission for all three uses.
Okay. When do you plan on completing this project? Will it be completed before this renewal ends?
Yeah, that's the intention. So the plan, as I understand it, is to commence selective demolition work right now. We've actually worked with Graves and Randy and the building commissioner to obtain the notice to proceed. So we're ready to go, and we're starting selective demolition. And the hope is to open the retail component of the establishment by the fall, and then shortly thereafter commence construction on the cultivation half of the building, or really more like 2/3 or 3/4 of the building, because only a portion is used for retail. But yeah, we believe, at a minimum, the retail will be complete and the cultivation component will be, substantially underway in a year's time.
Is anything in the plan changing, or is it being built the same way that it was approved?
It's being built in the same way that it was approved. There may be some, internal features in terms of actually how the layout of the cultivation facility will be done, but the new ownership team is still sort of working through what their final thoughts would be on how the actual flow and layout of the grow rooms and sort of the style of cultivation may be impacted from their takeover, but
Okay.
largely speaking, still a retail component in the front portion of the building, and then the back half is cultivation. And they may not start initially with a production component to the facility. It may strictly be cultivation, so it won't be doing extraction necessarily right away, but they'll be, having space for that still in a similar fashion as we proposed originally.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and thank you all.
Thank you, Daniel, for that information. Anyone else, any more discussion on it? I know we have a motion and a second on the floor. All right, no one has anything else. All those in favor, Gene Vincent,
Aye.
John Clay,
Aye.
John Smith,
Aye.
Joe Fontaine,
Aye.
Ross Smith, aye. It's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman,
Go right ahead. Yes.
may I ask, do we need two votes one for each respective special permit, or because I noted that the motion was for the July 2022 date.
Yeah, so those both, well, Randy, I'm just reading how it was listed here on the agenda. It was
Yeah.
combined.
Did you get? I don't have the.
I have them both.
you-
I can provide the dates for you if that would be easier.
If you had the second date, because I don't have that here, so I'm.
So the first is May 8th, 2019. So the request would be to extend that to May 8th, 2022.
Yep.
And the second, and that was for cultivation and production. And the second was what I believe you just did, was the July 22nd special permit. That was for the retail component.
So they have to make a second motion and. for the
Yeah,
May
so to cover our end. All right, do I have a motion to continue the annual extension for the special permit site plan from May 8th, 2019 to May 8th, 2022?
Don Clay, so moved.
Gene Vincent, second.
All right, all those in favor, Gene Vincent,
Aye.
Don Clay,
Aye.
John Smith,
Aye.
Joe Fontaine,
Aye.
Ross Smith, aye. All right, Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman, thank you to the board through you. Thank you all very much. Great to see you guys.
Thank you, Dan. Good luck.
Take care.
Thank you very much for your time.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks, Matthew.
You're welcome.
all right, next up at 7:15, we have J. Gill Development LLC, which is formerly Rockaway Realty Trust. Field change modification to Rockaway Realty Trust, definitive subdivision plan to City Depot Road.
Mr. Chairman, I just, Mike Andrade and I both concur with this. It's, we have not gotten a written confirmation from the fire department yet about it, because the intent is to remove the fire cistern and then internally sprinkle the buildings, which nobody really has any issue with, but the fire department hasn't given us a written confirmation on it yet. And since it's their requirement for the cistern, I recommend we wait till the May 19th meeting to take action on this.
All right.
I mean, the board could take action, but we just don't have any confirmation from the fire department yet.
Okay. All right, what's the board want to do? Want to continue that to wait to hear from the fire department on this? Because
I'll make a
property-
motion to continue it till the May 19th meeting.
you have a second?
I second.
All right, all those in favor, Gene Vincent,
Aye.
Don Clay,
Aye.
John Smith,
Aye.
Bill Fontaine,
Aye.
Ross Murphy, aye. All right, next up, we have the accept Curtis Hill Estates Inc. preliminary flexible subdivision plan, New Spencer Road. We have a Graves report yet, Randy?
No, they had submitted last week, the reply to the Graves report.
Yeah.
And Mike Andrade, his latest today, said that he did not have time to review it. You know, he received it last Thursday and he did not have time to review it for this meeting. He anticipated being ready for the May 19th meeting.
Do we have enough room on the May 19th meeting?
It's
Yeah.
getting busy.
Yeah, okay.
So this is just a preliminary subdivision plan, is that correct? So we don't
That's
have
correct.
to do this, so, okay.
Gotcha. All right, do I have a motion to continue this to the May 19th meeting?
I'll make a motion to continue to May 19th for the Curtis Hill Estates preliminary flexible subdivision plan.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor, Gene Vincent,
Aye.
Don Clay,
Aye.
John Smith,
Aye.
Bill Fontaine,
Aye.
Ross Murphy, aye. All right, 7:30, planning board action, zoning bylaw revision under section 200.3.3 intensity regulations to allow a building height over 36 feet to no more than 110 feet in business enterprise park, no more than 75 feet in industrial general under a special permit from the planning board. Question, did Bill and Jean, did you guys have a chance to watch the meeting from our last meeting with the video presentation from the applicant?
I did.
Yep, and
And
Bill and Jean has signed the, I'm sorry.
I was just going to respond to Ross's question. I was in the office today, the planning board, and had a discussion with Randy and Jane and reviewed the notes of that meeting.
Perfect. Thank you. Good. All right, so the last we left, correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, we closed the public hearing, correct? So just up for planning board discussion as far as whether to support or not support this at town meeting, correct?
Right, there's actually two different questions because you have the 75 feet in the industrial general district and then the 110 feet in the business enterprise zone. So I'm guessing you would take two separate votes on this.
Okay.
That's how it's presented at town meeting.
All right.
I mean, you can choose to do it all in one vote, but because it's two separate articles on the warrant, it probably should be two separate votes.
Randy, do you have those articles present? Can you read those articles on how they're going to be worded in the town meeting?
I have them in my hands if you don't.
As long as somebody reads it, I'd like to know the official wording before I vote to either
I have to
recommend
go
it.
steal one off the bulletin board. You have it, Alicia?
I do, yes. I have it in my hands, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Let it roll.
All right, so let me just find it. I apologize. Do we know what article number it is?
I think it's 15 and 16, if I remember correctly.
All right, let me go back. My apologies for being unprepared. My big moment and I'm blowing it.
Well, you have the paper. You're doing better than I am.
16 and 17.
Yes, all right.
16 and 17.
Thank you, Jean. Exactly. I was going to say 15 is stormwater.
Yeah.
Then
So Article 16 is building height amendment in IG zones. To see if the town will vote to amend Charlton zoning bylaw section 200-3.2 use regulations, D period intensity of use schedule to read as set forth below, the intent being to allow an increase of building or other structure height in IG zoning districts from the present 50 feet up to but no more than 75 feet, subject to approval of a special permit from the planning board and provided that the required minimum setback from the building structure approved for the special permit to both A, the nearest residential structure, including any accessory use structure, and B, The nearest boundary of any abutting residential or agricultural zoning district boundary line shall be 3 times the ordinarily required setback and the zone in which the building structure so approved is located. End.
Okay, do we want to take that one first?
Yeah, if you want, yeah, it makes sense. One at a time, right?
I would think so, yes.
Yeah.
So this is and how many of these areas do we have in town that would basically be allowing this, Randy? Is this just that one lot, that one IG lot that's out by Sturbridge, or are there other ones in town that can fall underneath this?
Actually, there's only one lot, the current lot that is out by Sturbridge.
The one we already have a site plan for?
Correct.
Submittal.
Right, that's the one that says no less than 75 acres.
That's correct.
So just to open the discussion, I'll make a motion to recommend this at the town meeting for the, what's that, Article 16?
Yes,
It's a motion
to what, to,
to
approve it or
recommend,
to recommend it? Okay,
Yep. then we can discuss.
I'll second that.
Second that.
All right. Any discussion, or do you, any discussion on that? We want to go right to a vote.
Well,
I know you threw it out there. Listen, I mean,
I think it's good to just discuss these a little bit. Now, this is kind of one lot. We've got a site plan for it. We know what's being built there. We've got an understanding of traffic flow and site plan and what it's going to look like. I'm more in line to look at this one as a positive for that location. Other people have opinions.
So the Charlton Economic Development Commission met last night, and we were of the same mindset. We think that for that property, that this is a very positive, and I'm speaking for myself as part of the Charlton EDC. I'm not speaking for the EDC, but it seemed to be the overall thought from a couple of us was that this was a positive thing.
Are we concerned about sightlines here? Or I guess we can, it would need planning board special permit approval anyways, once we see, some of the siting work and things like that. So there is some control over there on what goes in there.
There's going to be a lot of control over it, so there'll be a lot in the planning board's purview of this, because the fact that it's actually a special permit versus just a straight site plan.
Gotcha.
all right. Gene, you have any? Go
Oh,
right ahead.
excuse me, through the chair?
Go right ahead, John. Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry.
No,
Russ.
no,
Excuse
you can,
me.
no. Go ahead.
Just, I don't know if we should be discussing that site alone. It's the only site that in town that has that, but.
Well, in all fairness to the board, to make sure
Yeah.
that, there's always potential for other properties, as a result of a zoning bylaw revision or something like that, a couple of parcels that could be added together, in the industrial general district, in the future, somebody chose to do that, they'd have, if they had a bylaw amendment for rezoning the property and then say merging a couple of smaller parcels together, there's always a potential for that to happen, and all being transparent with the board. Currently, there's one parcel that fits that requirement, but there's potential for others, not in the industrial district. It would, I think based on the way the industrial district zone broken up, it's probably like, if it was to ever happen, there'd be a total of 3 parcels in the town that could actually happen to. And one of them is partially built out, which is actually the Griffin Road area, which I think everybody's familiar with that. They currently have 2 solar fields and numerous other things.
Gene, you have any opinion?
I'm leaning toward that, since it is through a special permit and we do have somewhat control over it and can follow it right along, that it's a good idea to approve this, to recommend it.
Okay. All right. Bill Fontaine, you got any?
I think it's well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's well researched, it's well written, and it's pretty significant to have a setback of 3 times. So that is pretty burdensome also on a developer. And there's always the special permit, the final review and vote of not only the planning board, but a lot of other boards and committees in town. So I'm fine with this as written.
I got you. All right. I feel the same way. I mean, the fact that this is a special permit, the planning board does have pretty much control over it. It's not a as of right. The applicant will have to provide and show that they meet all the setbacks as well as the criteria set forth. And also, as a board, we should realize that times are changing as far as business and development, what companies are looking for, and I think that to be flexible with the height, but have that special permit caveat there so that's not abused. So, which is my opinion on it.
Well,
All right.
the interesting part of this with, any of these bylaw revisions that we're currently going to be discussing tonight is anything over 36 feet is going to trigger the need for a special permit. So the planning board is going to have a lot of authority in these types of projects as they, we move forward. Whether it's this one or other ones in the future, that with it, because the way that bylaws are written with the special permit being basically anything over 36 feet, the planning board is going to have a lot of authority on, what they can require or not require as part of the special permit process.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor to support Article 16, which would be the no building height no more than 75 feet in industrial general zone. All those in favor, Gene Vincent,
Aye.
Don Clay,
Aye.
Sean Smith,
Aye.
Bill Fontaine.
Aye.
Can Alicia vote on this one, Randy?
I don't think so because it's
No,
a
yeah, we have a full
recommendation for
board.
town meeting,
Yeah.
so it's not a special permit, right?
Yeah.
All right, Ross Smith, aye. It is unanimous to support Article 16 at town meeting. All right, next up would be the Article 17 of the no more than 110 feet in a business enterprise park.
Do you want me to read this one as well?
Yeah, that'd be great, Alicia.
Sure.
Thank you.
Article 17, building height amendment in BEP zones. To see if the town will vote to amend Charlton zoning bylaw section 200-3.2 use regulations, D, intensity of use schedule, to read as set forth below, the intent being to allow an increase of building or other structure height in BEP zoning districts from the present 50 feet to up to, but no more than 110 feet, subject to approval of a special permit from the planning board and provided that the required minimum setback from the building structure approved for the special permit to both A, the nearest residential structure, including any accessory use structure, and B, the nearest boundary of any abutting residential or agricultural zoning district boundary line shall be 3 times the ordinarily required setback in the zone in which the building structure so approval is located. End.
Okay, and once again, I guess to open up the discussion,
Go right ahead, Dan.
I'll make a motion that we vote to recommend this at the town meeting for Article 17.
Second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second, so discussion. We'll just go around again like we did on the first one. I thought it worked out great.
Sure, you want me to go first?
Go right ahead, Don. Yeah.
So this one bothers me a little bit more because we've got a lot more business enterprise parks within town that are very close, very near large residential developments. In fact, I would say a majority, if not all of our business enterprise park locations are near large residential areas. I can't think of any time that I'd probably vote to go that high, or even over 36 feet, that close to a home. It just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. It would be a huge undertaking to get me to go that high, that near a residential development. I mean, if this was an industrial land, in some of the areas that we have farther away from, residential developments, I may look at that and consider it, but I'm not sure I could for this.
All right, John Smith.
I'd have to echo that sentiment with Don. Just seeing some, it doesn't fit our character of the town. 110 foot building, maybe somewhere hidden in the woods somewhere, but as it stands now, it's just that footprint of a building does not fit. I see it not fitting this our town right now, especially where it's proposed. It's the discussion on this building was proposed right next to a nature sanctuary, and I think that part of Charlton, our charm of our natural rural vistas and such, is kind of the charm why people like to live here. So, I mean, if the people want to develop that land, that's fine. I mean, the land's not going anywhere. The proximity of the land to Route 20 and to 49 to the Mass Pike, that's not changing at all. If somebody really would like to develop that land, I think they could make a go of it with what we have, on the books right now. So that's my 2 cents.
All right. Steve Vincent?
Yeah, I sort of echo both Don and John. I'm not real keen on this one at all.
Okay. All right. Bill Fontaine?
I understand a lot of the points of view from the previous board members, and I think this has, again, there's the 3 times setback, which is pretty substantial. The site that we're thinking of here is very unique, and I think the zoning of Charlton is changing. The business needs are changing, and therefore the types of buildings that we're going to be seeing, if not this application, then maybe perhaps ones in the future. This is representative that the developers need just a different footprint and a different type of building maybe than we've considered in the past. This is the opportunity to change the bylaws. And again, we're not changing the bylaws. This is just a recommendation to go to town meeting. So I'd be very interested to see and hear what the townspeople think about such an application to change the bylaws to accommodate this new development request that we're seeing. So I'm in favor of supporting this and hearing this, what the townspeople say about this in the future at the town meeting.
All right, Bill. Thank you very much. Alicia, do you want to add anything anything from the EDC meeting from last night? Or any
I would,
comments?
actually. I'm not going to speak on behalf of the EDC on this one, but I'd like to speak on behalf of myself. I have to echo Bill Fontaine on this, because today the Charlton Fire Department posted pictures on Facebook showing that in their existing building there was rain. The rain was causing water to get into the building and hurting their apparatuses and their equipment. And right now, the industry that the town has does not have a tax base that can support improving some of our capital structures. And I just think that we need to open things up a little bit to allow for bigger businesses to come in these zones, that will allow for a bigger tax base, that will bring in more revenue, that will help. And I think that, to Bill's point, that I completely respect what everyone else is saying, and I don't mean to be argumentative at all. But I would like to see what the townspeople have to say, because I think between having to do a Prop 2.5 and they keep voting down to do the new structures for the fire and police and whatnot, I think we need to find a different way. And I really do think that we need to allow some of these businesses to come in that could actually help. I think would be a very big, good thing for the town. And so I would actually, although I cannot vote, and I appreciate that, I would like to see this be supported by the planning board, because really the planning board and EDC, and again, I'm not speaking for EDC, I'm speaking as an individual that's on EDC. Our job is to, yes, protect the town, but also to help Charlton develop. And I think that's changing. Again, my own personal opinion, and I do appreciate you letting me be heard.
All right, thank you, Alicia.
Ross, if you don't mind, if I could just add one thing to this too, is I just wanted to point it out because it was brought up. I know this is more of a project specific, but it will apply in many circumstances. It was brought up about the closest to the Cape and Hill. Well, currently under the current bylaws, that building, they could build on that property and be a lot closer to Cape and Hill Nature Preserve than what was actually considered by building a taller building, which of course, yes, it's a taller building, you can see it better. Because of that 3 times a setback requirement, that actually pushes it away from things. So if you don't have to follow that 3 times setback requirement, then it actually could end up being, the structures can be actually even much closer to the abutting properties and everything than they could with this bylaw in place. And again, just because we have the bylaw that allows it, it still would be required as a special permit for anyone to actually get approval from the board. You know, having a bylaw in place saying, yes, we allow up to 110 feet under a special permit, well, that might not work in every, you know, circumstance. It might, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but the board would have the purview to decide when that, the proper occasion to allow for it.
All right, thanks, Randy. Don, did you want to say something before Randy?
Yeah, thank you, Russ. I just wanted to clarify just one thing that I did say. So this is going to town meeting whether we vote to support it or not. So the town will get a chance to decide on the future of what they want to see in the town. So I think that's a great thing either way. I just did, from my personal view and what the people that I've talked to are not comfortable with such a large structure so close to living communities in any of the locations on town. I'm not just speaking of one particular property. Speaking of the several BEP zones that are parks that we have that are suitable for this type of development, or that would fall under the purview of this new regulation. So either way the town gets to vote, I just cannot support it because I don't think it fits in with the character.
All right, thank you, Don. All right,
Ross,
go right ahead.
I just wanted to mention it and echo Don's feelings there. What we decide and vote on, if we're going to support it or not, the townspeople have the final say, and they should have the final say. Just because we either support something or don't support something, the people of the town need to come out and vote what they want to see done. The planning board shouldn't have that much authority to influence people like that. And if we do, I certainly hope I don't want to. Everybody should have their own mind and come out and vote how you feel. That was all.
Great. Thank you, Jean. Thank you.
Very well put.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to echo kind of what I mentioned on the previous one with in the IG district, as far as my feelings. Just, I think the town needs to adjust to what, as far as the change in the business and development world. And gotta remember, it is a special permit, and it is for the board does not have to approve it. They can be arbitrary. If they feel the applicant doesn't meet the criteria, then therefore they don't have to approve it. But I think that moving forward, the town needs to, as far as commercial development, needs to be a little bit more flexible. And I mean, Route 20, they have close to 30,000 cars a day for traffic. And I think that rural is not Route 20. And the BEP zones in town that this bylaw possibly fits is on 4 pieces, and they're all on Route 20. But therefore, the board will always be protected by the special permit that what it is. So, all right, with the motion and a second on the floor, I'm gonna have a motion to support this Article 17 at town meeting. Gene Vincent.
No.
All right, Don Clay.
No.
Okay, John Smith.
No,
Bill Fontaine. You, Bill?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes. All right. Ross Mancy, yes. All right. 3-2. It's not supported by the planning board. But just remember, anyone that's listening, town meeting is the one that ultimately makes the decision. What both Dawn and Gene echoed during our discussion for this. All right. Next up, we got public hearing continued by Charlton Developer LLC site plan application and special permit for proposed warehouse distribution facility at 241 Sturbridge Road. And we have a letter here from Blattman, Bobrowski, and Haverty LLC. Dear members, on behalf of Charlton Developers LLC, I hereby request a continuance of the public hearing regarding its applications for site plan approval on a special permit for the above referenced address. Kindly place these matters on your agenda for May 19th, 2021 at your earliest possible time. Thank you for your consideration. Literally yours, Mark Bobrowski.
yes, our peer reviews just haven't had because the complexity of the application, there were a couple of changes. They needed more time for the review. So the applicant had requested continues to May 19th because they would like to try to address everything at once rather than just, keep carrying it through meetings with, partially answering the information. They like to address everything in one time.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we postpone until May 19th the subdivision, or sorry, site plan approval for 241 Sturbridge Road, Charlton Developers LLC.
All right, do you have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor, Gene Vincent,
Aye.
Don Clay,
Aye.
John Smith,
I,
Bill Fontaine,
Aye.
Ross Mancy, aye. All right, Randy, do we have anything else, other business unknown at time of posting?
Yeah, we have, just a note to everyone now, we need, everyone, when you get an opportunity to come here to the planning board office, have to put your signature for the A&Rs. They get signed with the registry of deeds, so we have to do our annual filing. So we have the paper out here on the table, so whenever, every member has a chance to stop by, if you can stop in and just sign it so that we can file it with the registry of deeds. Other than that, we'll see everyone on the 19th.
All right, does anyone else have anything that they came across last couple of weeks that they want to bring up?
Can I just ask a goofy question? And I probably missed this somewhere somehow. As far as town meeting goes, are they planning on spacing people? Are they going to require a mask for the whole thing? I've been really curious because I didn't have a chance to go to the last one, which was outside, but I'm all excited about going to this one, but I can't get a clear answer on how they're actually doing it.
I am told that this is actually going to be in the middle school or auditorium indoors now. So I'm sure masks are probably going to be required. They're going to have the spacing, but I'm sure they'll require masks.
actually,
Yeah, the fall one was there too, and masks were required and social distancing was required.
They should sell masks at the door. They could make a fortune.
Town of Charlton masks.
Do that.
How about the puzzle drop one? Drop one. We have finished the puzzle. Come back.
who's that? I have one suggestion. And,
All right, John.
and if, so, I don't know if anybody has gone down to the T Hall, the behind the proposed 241 site. Just if you have a chance, take a drive past the golf course and go just to see the scope of the back of that area. It might help when they're discussing what they want to do with the lay down area out back and such.
Oh, on Hill Road, right, John?
Hill Road, excuse me.
Yeah. No problem. That's how yeah.
Actually, since you brought that, it made me think of something. The planning board, when they voted about map changes, one was for Berry Corner Road. That applicant has informed us in writing that he's going to postpone that indefinitely. And also the Carroll Hill Road property, the owners of that property have asked for that to be postponed indefinitely. Those were the two parcels that the board had both want to endorse.
Gotcha. Hey, Randy, quick thing. Have you had any luck with getting in touch with the tower people behind Cornerstone about the flag?
No, I have to send the mail. It comes back unopened. The representative that used to be there, and actually, you just made me think of what I was planning to do is to ask Sabrina, because she is, I think the manager over there, that it's on their property, if she had a contact person. And that's,
yeah, okay.
I've been meaning to do that.
Okay, cool.
I just
Yeah.
have to the chair.
noticed that on Sunday when I went through there, it's like there's a little like paper towel size piece left, I think.
Yeah, not much. Go right ahead, John.
So just, what's our plan with CRMP there, the zoning diagnostic? I know we're busy next week, next session, but what are we thinking about trying to put a bow on that?
Well, actually, well, I'm planning to put it on our following meeting because we made some substantial progress, which I forward to Ron Barron. Ron Barron actually is going to be at the beginning of our next meeting because he's leaving CMRPC at the end of May. I didn't know that until yesterday. But his person that has been working with him, that has been involved in this process all along, I just asked, he's going to introduce him to the board at the beginning of the next meeting. His name's Gabe, so he'll be taking over for Ron. But what we need to do, we did the last meeting where we went through, we need to finish doing that, and then there's a few other items to be buttoned up with that too. As far as I've been requesting some addition to definitions or better definitions of some of the that are currently in the bylaws or omitted from the bylaws, so that we can add them. And those are the major items that we have to address right now. And the one other thing I want to do, or am trying to do, is to come up with a better type of say abbreviated site plan for items like the Beagle Club, and where they don't have to go through the full-blown site plan process that would be in the bylaws. So determining what the trigger point will be for that.
Great.
Gotcha.
And we're still trying to get that for the fall meeting, right, Rain?
That's the game plan, yes.
Thank you.
All right. Does anyone have anything else?
No,
All right. Hearing none, seeing none. Do I have a motion to adjourn here at 8 o'clock?
motion to adjourn.
I can second that.
I'd like to thank Don again for all his technical support.
Absolutely.
As always.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. All those in favor, Gene Vincent,
And right,
Aye.
Don Clay,
Aye.
John Smith,
Aye.
Bill Fontaine. All right. Ross Smith, aye. All right. See you guys at town meeting, right?
Town meeting, yes.
yeah, please attend.
So you're going to be there?
I'll be
Yeah.
there.
May 17th.
May 17th, middle school.
Is someone posting that?
We will make sure that we do, yes. Yeah, you're gonna be there in form. Yep.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Aye.